So if someone criticizes you and takes advantage of you and talk down to you, you have to close that door. In fact, Joel Osteen talked about it last week. He says you should lock the door. Anybody who comes, who you know that's going to tell you bad things. If that person is negative and is going to tell you bad things, lock the door. Don't open the door. Okay? And it's true. He's talking about the throat chakra. So the throat chakra is one of the most dangerous chakras of all. One of the most troublesome chakras. When you have to overcome that before you can get to the third eye.
How do you lock the door?
Okay, you lock the door by the way you meditate, where you carry your life, what you eat. That's where we show the video. And your diet has to do with it, and everything. Lock the door also means that when they come, just don't open the door. Don't open the door. don't answer the door.
If you work with stay related to that person, how?
I didn't hear you.
If you relate with that person, if you work together, I don't know, in the life.
Okay, you're right. In other words, if you're related to that person's close to you, and the person's putting you down, right? You have to tell the person you don't like it. If the person continues, then you have to realize that the person is not the true person. You do not need people like that around you to say them. So listen, if you don't like it, walk away. If you can't handle it. But usually if it affects you, that means that you have low confidence. That means you haven't overcome the other chakra, the love. What is the love? Love of yourself. Everybody's unique. No two people are the same. If someone tells you you're no good, right, that's that person's view. But you don't have to please that person. You have to please yourself. Why? Because that person is not going to pay your electric bill. That person is not going to pay your phone bill. Who pays the phone bill? You. That person is not going to give you food. Right? Of course, last week we did talk about mother and father. If mother says you're bad, say yes, mom, you're right. And just walk away. Because you can't fight mom. But every other person cannot have that effect on you. So you have to build this confidence, which is love. The first thing you have to have is love. Love for the self. Right? And that's why the first mantra means love for the self. If you look at the first mantra at the bottom there, it says Lam. It's really, that's the Buddhist pronunciation, but it's the Hindu pronunciation is Lang, S-L-A-N-G. But the whole idea is that when you chant the first mantra, which is Lang, and that develops self-confidence. Okay? That's the energy to develop. Once you have self-confidence, then you love yourself. You know that person says, well, if you are no good, then you have to look at yourself and say, I think I'm doing well. You know, I'm okay. Right? Of course, if somebody says you're sick and you are sick, then you have to agree to it. But the whole idea is that, you know, if you know you're doing very well and you have self-confidence, you have health, nobody can really control your feelings. Okay? So again, you need encouragement. You need encouragement. Children, especially if you start to criticize them, right? And you have seen me, kids come to see me. I never criticize a kid in my life. I can tell you that. Never criticize a kid. Why? Because the kid doesn't need it. The kid is growing. Like watering a plant. You know? I see love as like watering plants. You have to be a good gardener. When you plant that seed, then you have to water the plant to make sure that seed take birth and grow and so on and so good lovers are good gardeners. They water the plant of love every day. But we have so much ego, and that's the problem. The ego is the second chakra. The ego is what says, you know what? If I tell her she looks beautiful, she might feel too good. Or if I tell him he looks handsome, it's not good, he should not feel good. That's the ego. And the ego says, well, you know, if I tell her, well, the dress she has is beautiful, that means that mine might not look that good. That's the ego, plays it. So it makes you lie. It makes you tell a lie. You know, my favorite one is when the lady comes to see me and she says, well, he's giving me a lot of problems. My husband's giving me a lot of problems. Right? And I said, do you want him back? She said, no, I don't really want him back. She's lying. Of course she's lying, she wants him back, that's why she's there. That's why she's here. She'll come back because she wants her husband back. Right? So we lie all the time. And that's the second chakra that creates blockages when we lie. We lie to ourselves. We're not true to ourselves. If somebody is handsome, tell him they're handsome. If somebody is good looking, tell him they're good looking. Why hold it back? If somebody is doing great, tell them they're doing great. And that develops confidence of love inside you. You have nothing to fear when you go to sleep. And nothing to worry about. You know, some people go to bed worrying about, I should have told him he looked good, but I didn't. You know? And so they worry when they go to sleep. Be free. Free yourself from that by just being truthful. Tell it like it is. You know? So the purpose of the third eye, which is the top chakra, is to make sure that you see everything in at a high point. High point. It's like taking to a high point. Where if you stand in a mountain, you can see all around. But if you stand at the ground, below the mountain, you can only see one side. So you elevate your knowledge, your consciousness, to a point where you can see the problem. Now, why do you come to see me? Or why do you come to see an astrologer or an advisor? Because he is already seeing from the high point. So you go and you ask his advice and he's able to tell you the advice. It's because of knowledge. He has the knowledge. So to reach the top chakra, knowledge is the key. That's why it's right above the brain. So knowledge is what takes you to the Sahasrara chakra. So now when you can see things from a high point, you can solve the problem quick. You can view the problem better, and you can solve the problem. Right? So that's why we designed a mantra called Shivoham Shivoham. Means, I am God. I am Shiva. Every person is unique. We have the same fingerprint. Each person is a unique personage of God. All the elements are within you are God. That's why when you get a third eye now, and you're able to see in the third eye, you can see things that probably nobody else can see. So everybody wants their third eye to be open. Everybody wants to have the third eye where you can see in the future, like the psychic experience. But if you get to see the third eye, what if you see the wrong things now? What if you don't see the right things? And there are people who have that problem. And when their third eye is open now, they see the wrong things. Why? Because they don't have what you call a guide or a guru or a teacher. For you to open up the third eye and see the things, you have to have a guru or a teacher, or else you will see the wrong things. Because just like how you will see angels, you will also see spirits. You will see the bad energies. So who's going to save you if the bad energies come? That's when you need a teacher. That's when you need a guide. So one should not try to open the third eye unless they have a teacher.